If you're on Social Security benefits, listen up. I have great news. The Social Security Fairness Act has been signed into law, and millions are about to get a huge increase in their Social Security benefits. I have all the details for you. So, what is exactly happening? Well, the law is now in effect, and here is the categories of people who are going to get money. Group one are going to get about $360 a month average increase in their Social Security benefits. Another group is going to get about $700 a month increase. A third group is going to get $1,190 increase a month. So realistically, there are some people who are going to see their Social Security benefits go from the average of $1,976 to $3,166. This is life changing for millions of people. And on top of that, there is back pay. They're going to go back to all the way to January 2024 and calculate back pay for everybody that is impacted by this huge legislation that got signed into law. So the average back pay is going to be about $4,320, but some are going to see as much as $14,280. So let's jump into the details. Now, stay till the end of this live because I am going to talk about one thing that I have received a lot of comments on. A lot of you are unhappy that this law is not impacting everybody and only a group of people. And so there's been the question of whether this is fair. So I'm going to address that and to really highlight how much this law is going to provide relief for millions. I'm going to share with you voices of people who have actually been impacted by this legislation and what their experience have been, so that it will give you some understanding of why this was necessary. So if you're new to this channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because all we do is bring you the latest news and updates on Social Security, disability, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and anything in and out of Congress that's going to affect your personal finances as a senior. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that President Biden signed this bill into law recently, and that kicked off all the things that I've been talking about, because the Social Security Administration is about to send these checks to millions of Americans that have been waiting for this for a long time. So what is this about? Well, over 3 million beneficiaries will see their checks jump from $1,976 on average to up to $3,166. So I'm going to walk you through and see if you qualify for this large Social Security increase. Now, this has been a 40-year battle, and it's going to come at a massive cost. It's $190 billion to make this all happen. And government workers in certain states are about to get a huge boost in their benefits. Now, here's the thing. We all know that the Social Security Trust Fund is in trouble and is supposed to run out of money in 2033, at which point there's going to be automatic 20% cut in Social Security benefits. So this bill, this Social Security Fairness Act, is going to add more pain to that scenario, because it's going to accelerate how fast the Social Security Trust Fund runs out of money by 6 months. So I'm going to talk about all that in details, but let's get into how this all came into being. So the House of Representatives voted 327 to 75, and then the Senate picked up the bill and voted 76 to 20. So as you can see, there is overwhelming agreement in Congress that the Social Security Fairness Act was the right thing to do. And then the president signed it into law in January 5th, President Biden, that is. And so now it is on the Social Security Administration to begin immediate implementation. And currently, they are verifying eligibility, they are adjusting payments, and then they are preparing their communication systems so that they will begin to roll this out, because this is going to impact millions and they need to get it right. So what is the Social Security Fairness Act? Well, it eliminates WEP and GPO provisions that reduce public servant benefits for over 40 years. Now, it's a major reform impacting 3 million beneficiaries across the country. And in January 2025, it was signed into law, and now the implementation process begins. The reason this was passed was to address historical inequality in public sector retiree benefits. Now, this all started, this WEP and GPO started during the Reagan administration, and it was part of a large overhaul of Social Security benefits. The original intent was to prevent double dipping, and it created unintended hardships for those affected. It disproportionately impacted teachers, police officers, firefighters, and state and local employees who were getting pensions but were denying social security benefits that they had also paid into when they worked in the private sector jobs. Public sector career transition led to unexpected benefit reduction. So people who worked in the public sector, teachers, firefighters, police officers, first responders, local and state employees, had paid into a pension. But then once they retired or before they went into government work, they also worked in the private sector for at least 10 years and were eligible for Social Security benefits. But this rule that was established in 1983 prevented them from having both or getting their full Social Security benefits because they were getting a government pension. So who benefits? First responders and teachers with separate pension systems outside of Social Security. Federal CSRS employees historically excluded from Social Security coverage. State and local workers with independent retirement systems varying by location. And surviving spouses previously had faced a 2/3 reduction in their Social Security benefits, which they were entitled to. I mean, their spouse earned the money and they were entitled to spousal benefits. But because of this pension issue, they were denied 2/3 of their Social Security benefits. So, what is the expected increase? How much are people going to get? Well, on average, people who are impacted by the WEP, which is the retirees, are going to get about $360 increase, which restores their earned benefits based on their work history. And then spouses are going to get $700 a month on average monthly increase because the government eliminated, some of their pension, or what's called a pension offset. And then survivors are going to get $1,000. They are the ones that benefit the most, actually. $1,190 average increase, which supports the families of deceased public servants. And then there's going to be retroactive payments to cover the gap since January 2024. Now, let me talk about the retroactive coverage. So, if you are getting the $360 as a WEP increase, then if you multiply that by 12, you're going to get $4,320 in a lump sum payment before your monthly increase, your monthly $360 increase on average kicks in. If you're a spouse and this has impacted you, based on the $700 monthly increase you're going to get, the lump sum times 12 is going to be $8,400 from January 2024. If you're a survivor and you've been impacted severely by this and you're getting the $1,190 monthly increase on average, then your lump sum is going to be about $14,280. So as you can see, this is about to hit a lot of people, and it's going to be welcome news because this is not chump change. This is good amount of money that is going to be needed or it will be going to be welcomed. It doesn't solve all the problem. Some people have waited for decades. Some people have waited for 20 years waiting for this bill to be passed. And so it does become a little bit of consolation, but it doesn't solve the entire problem. But the good news is that they're going to start getting benefit increases going forward. The implementation process. Well, Congress has passed a law. The Social Security Administration is now going to go into really calculating how much people are going to get. So they're going to do a complex benefit calculation to make sure that all the calculations are done and each category of people are getting their money. And then there's going to be extensive testing to make sure that there's no payment disruptions when this gets rolled out. And then there's going to be a new distribution system for managing the retroactive payments. And so all this needs to happen before the Social Security Administration can start sending money in. Now, let's talk about how Social Security benefits are calculated in the first place and how we got here. First, it starts with 35-year period of work. So, Social Security takes your highest earnings over 35 years, even if non-consecutive, to calculate benefits. If you work fewer than 35 years, zeros are averaged in the missing years. Then step two is the average index monthly earnings. This is important. Your past earnings are adjusted for inflation and wage growth up to 60. This ensures earnings from 1990 have comparable value to earnings from 2020 in the calculations. And then next, they move to your primary insurance amount. This is like the base amount that you get. It uses a progressive formula with bend points. For 2024, 90% of the first 1,257 of AIME plus 32% up to 7,581 plus 15% above that. This creates the base benefit that you will get. And then on top of that, your full retirement age determines the next one. When you retired, when you decided to retire. So your birth year determines your full retirement age. It is 66 to 67 depending on when you were born. So if you take benefits early at 62, it reduces your amount permanently by up to 30%. Delaying your full retirement age increases your benefit by 80% annually until age 70. So, required action. What do you have to do if you're a beneficiary? Well, pension providers are going to verify your information. So providers must submit records confirming your non-social security covered employment periods and pension amounts to determine proper benefit adjustment. Next, the Social Security Administration is going to do the rest. They're going to create and maintain your My Social Security account and make sure that they track changes and record all the things that need to be recorded to calculate your benefits. So you can contact the Social Security Administration and make sure that they have your good mailing address, your email, your phone number to make sure that critical notices and updates are being sent to you. And then there's going to be verification process. You have to submit official pension award letters and statements showing non-covered employment periods to qualify for the increase. And then they're going to review your work history. Social Security examines your earnings record to identify years when WEP and GPO reduced your benefits. And then the documentation, you're going to provide proof to the government of your government employment and pension entitlements to make sure that all that is in line for you to be eligible to receive benefits. And then finally, your pension details help SSI determine your new monthly benefit amount and any retroactive payments owed to you under the Fairness Act. So let's talk about timeline. New benefit amounts will automatically appear in regular monthly Social Security payments once they're implemented. So you don't have to do anything. Retroactive payments, which are back payments from the law's passage to implementation, will be distributed gradually to manage processing volume. The SSA's technical systems determine how quickly they can process millions of payment adjustments. So this is going to take some time for them to figure this out. And of course, socialsecurity.gov is going to have official statement and schedules for when these payments are going to be rolled out and how you can get your money and when. So if you have any questions, you can call the Social Security Administration 1-800-772-1213 or go online or visit a local Social Security office, but you have to make an appointment. And then your pension verification, your pension administrator must confirm employment dates, pension amounts, and non-covered periods to the Social Security Administration so that they can calculate everything that's needed. And then to stay informed, make sure that you're checking the Social Security website for details and have your pension statements ready, your employment records, your ID ready, all those things that they're going to need to verify and then speed up implementation and speed up getting you your money that you've earned that you've been waiting for. So now let's hear from real voices impacted by this. So what I did was that I went and scoured the internet to find people who have been impacted by this, who have been waiting for this money, and hear their voices And then I will talk about whether this is fair or not, because a lot of you have commented on my videos the last couple of weeks about that. This is not fair. This should have been done for everybody. So we're going to talk about that. If you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's continue. So I am identifying people just by their username online. So this person, HDD2, some of us worked as a firefighter, where as such, I did not pay into Social Security. And then I also had a second job or business where I did pay into Social Security. As a result, I earned enough credits to earn Social Security benefits. When I started receiving Social Security, I was initially told it would be X amount in Social Security. However, my first Social Security check was reduced by 60% because of my firefighter pension. Those of us that earn Social Security benefits in this way are the ones that will be getting the most because we were reduced the most. I am waiting to see if my February check will be increased by the 613 that the calculator shows we will see. Another person, the government took $600 a month from me since 2009 from the GPO. I have given over $100,000 since I retired. I will never recoup that amount of money. I won't be holding my breath for my money. Here's another person. My wife has been WEP'd and benefits reduced to $98 per month. Because of Medicare Part B, she receives $0 each month, and we get a bill for over $800 each year. Additionally, she was told she would not file for half my Social Security benefits, which will be about $700 a month. With WEP removal, can we recover past Social Security benefits for her? And when she applied for half of mine, we are requesting an appointment now in January, but it will be several months before she gets into the office. So you can see, like, people have been really impacted by this, and this is going to change lives, obviously. I worked for the County of Los Angeles for 46 years, paid into Social Security for 14 years until LA County pulled out in 1982. I also worked part-time private industry job for 13 years. During that time, I was told when I applied for Social Security at 65 that I was under WEP and didn't receive the amount I was entitled to. I paid into pension and Social Security. I don't know about other counties in Los Angeles. I don't know about other counties. In Los Angeles County, employees paid into SS until 1982. Here's another person. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I am a pension who is eligible for the WEP repeal after working for 40 years in both the private and public sector. At age 75, I'm amazed I lived long enough to see the law repealed, and will be fortunate if I ever see a single penny of the money I paid into Social Security while also paying directly to public pension fund to go into my account before I leave this world. So those are the people, some of the people who were impacted by this law. So as you can see, there's real people behind this, and they have been advocating for 40 years, and they deserve to be heard, and they deserve to be made whole, at least to the extent that the law has done. So let's talk about the fairness about this, because some of you are saying this is not fair because a lot of you on Social Security disability benefits are struggling. The cost of living adjustment has not kept up with inflation. And so to see a section of Social Security recipients get this amount of money while the rest are reduced to a 2.5% COLA is not fair. I hear you. I mean, I don't disagree, because COLA has been atrocious this year. And to see that some people are getting $360 up to $700 increase for some under WEP, and others are getting $1,190 increases and up to $14,200 in lump sum payment. I mean, that got to hurt. You know, if you are not on the receiving end of this, especially since you're all Social Security beneficiaries. But here's the thing: as you heard from real people, they've also been waiting for a long time, and they've been robbed of money for decades. And so, you know, the fact that they are being taken care of does not negate the fact that everybody else is struggling and also need help. So I think that those two things can all be true, that you are fairly saying that your social security benefits, especially cost of living adjustment, is not enough, and that, prices have gone up and stayed up on every single thing that you can think of: food, housing, transportation, healthcare, clothing, gas. Everything has gone up and stayed up. So yes, it is fair to say that this is not fair, but those who have been waiting for it will consider that it was a fair decision for Congress to work on this and for the President Biden to sign it. But it's going to cost a lot of money, $190 billion, which is going to impact the Social Security Trust Fund, and is going to trigger, as we said, in 2033, when the Social Security Trust Fund runs out of money, is going to trigger an automatic 20% reduction in benefits. So this is just going to add to that pain that is coming at some point in the future. So let me know what you think. What do you think Congress should have done? What would you recommend? If you were in charge, what would you have done? Would you have passed a separate law to also increase Social Security benefits for everybody? There's been a proposal that has been around where, the law that was proposed last year to increase Social Security by $200 a month for everybody, that would have been a $2,400 increase every year. But that was never passed. So I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think about the Social Security Fairness Act. If you were impacted by it and you're going to be receiving money, I want to hear your story in the comments. And if you think that this is not fair, let me know what you would have done or you would want to propose that Congress should do this year to make sure that those that are receiving Social Security and disability benefits also get help. So I want to hear from you in the comment section. I'm going to do another live in the next couple of days. And so until I see you on the next live, thank you for watching.